say prepare to brace, but there's nothing to brace for because we all knew it was coming. I have been eliminated. This may be the end of Chanel's ride on the road to success and fame and fortune on RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 6, but it is not the end of me, regardless of whatever happens on that bloody terrible show. We have got a lot to discuss this episode, and we've got a lot to get into because we have to get into my Doctor Who, we have to talk about Snatch Game, we have to talk about Chanel O'Connor being eliminated from the competition. Also, we need to talk about the reading challenge, we need to talk about Gee, we need to talk about Jar, we need to talk about there's loads to get into. So, without further ado, let's get into this, folks. Okie doke, folks, we are back, and I have done my eyebrows, I've covered them, we've done our primers, and we've done our face tapes. It is time to shake up the makeup. Let's just talk about this because Doctor Who is literally iconic. When I read the dossier and it said Doctor Who is one of the runway packages, I screamed. I am a huge fan of Doctor Who. It is crazy, like I was raised on it, and how much of an iconic British runway theme this could ever be. Like, this is amazing. The thing was, Nathan from Doctor Who was there.
That's so upsetting.
We literally are going to get into this Doctor Who look, and for this, we're starting off with foundation. This is my chance to be like, let's have fun. I don't really do a lot of spooky, ooky makeup, so this was my time to be like, okay, let's have a bit of fun with this. This time, we're not Chanel. We are whatever I f***ing said.
I am a Grand Admiral in the battle army of the Slither Sisters.
Bitch, I was making up as I was going along. So, for anyone who's like, oh my god, I can't believe you went. You must be so distraught. You must be so upset that that you left. Hallelujah. I was low-key so excited to leave. Controversially, it's crazy to think and it's crazy to say I loved my experience on that show so much, but not gonna lie, folks. I was at the point that I had summoned over the head waiter. I'd asked for the check. I had brought out the ticket for the cloakroom. I had summoned an Uber XL. I was ready to go. Like, I was ready to go. You know, it is so intense all the time. You don't really feel like you've ever gotten a break because you've always got to kind of be on and be ready in case RuPaul jumps out of a vending machine and is suddenly like, right, your next challenges, folks, you're gonna bare knuckle box each other, all dressed as clowns from it. And I'm glad to say I don't ever have to do any crazy shit like that ever again. Well, you never know. Would I do UK versus the world? Would I do a Traitors?
Ooh, a drag Traitors.
A drag Traitors. Everyone calm down. I was quite happy to leave the Big Brother house. So when I got my phone back, literally the first person on the phone was Niall, and I went, they got me, gal. They got me, gal.
That was the first thing you said on the phone, and I burst out laughing. And you were literally like, I'll be there in 2 hours. I
was so like James Bond cryptic villain, like
I'll be
there in 2 hours. Summon the girls. Beep.
It was wild.
So folks, we're talking on the couch. We're having some conversations, you know. And also at this point, I've got emotional burnout. I'm sick of everyone telling me I talk too much. And I'm sick of always being the butt of every f***ing joke. So yes, it was a weird time. And I think like at this point, I was really in my head as well. I was like, oh my god, I'm missing family. I'm missing friends. I'm really struggling with the balance of everything. Like, it's just so intense. The workload is crazy. But anyway, it's a new day in the workroom and we come on in. Miss Mama. It is the reading challenge.
Because reading is what? Fundamental. That's right.
Now this is iconic Drag Race moments. This is a time I wish I brought a spare pair of underwear. I had through them, I had into the ground, I had projectile everywhere.
It's coming out of me like lava!
I'm going to do a little bit of powdering, a little bit of setting, a little bit of contouring, and let's get into this wild west of a reading challenge. Okay, pause. I'm back. I forgot. With this look, the makeup itself is so crazy and so wild that I was kind of making it up as I go along. We'd had ideas. We'd had a sketch. I'd had an idea. I'd had a vibe. But I really wasn't too sure of what I was going to go for. So I remember practicing this in the hotel room. I have never ever painted myself another colour. This was a real moment where I was going to just challenge myself and put myself really out there. I had so much fun. I had so much fun with this look, and it is actually, controversially, one of my favourite looks. To me, Doctor Who is Russell T Davies. He is the icon, the star, the legend of Doctor Who. So I was literally so inspired by his era of Doctor Who, where it was all born in realism. With Russell T Davies, he always focuses on these beautiful female characters that are like female villains, female ingenues, female icons. And I just wanted to have this moment where I was like, I'm going to be this female villain, feline-esque, with a bit of an octopus. And what I loved and adored was this outfit. We will get into that, but I've just done some, see, look at that, it's already changed the dimension of my face. Right, folks, I look like a bisexual smurf. What? This is a bit wild. Let's get into this. I'm just gonna dunk into some of these colours and give myself a bit of shape and dimension. The reading challenge moment. Now this is legendary Drag Race moments. To get to the reading challenge itself is literally an honour, but also the scariest thing you can do in your entire fucking life. My kind of humour sometimes doesn't translate terribly too well. There was quite a few instances I would say things, and blank looks.
Your pronouns are fee, fi, fo, and fum.
Crickets.
But I will tell you this, we all were having those moments. And listen, I think it was all a bit tongue-in-cheek. It was really enjoyable to watch. And when it comes to reading and when it comes to these sort of challenges, this is actually moments where you cannot take anything personal. You don't want to be an Alexis Michelle being like, you called me fat. So I was there like, take it, just take anything, because you want to give back. You want to go, haha, you're fucking hideous. I think we had funny moments. All of us had funny little moments, but we all want to win that challenge. So you don't want to laugh terribly too much at someone who's doing very well. So there was a couple jokes of Lavoie's. I was like, because I was like, I don't want Ru to think it's good. Because there was some jokes that I made that honestly, I was like, once again, swallow me up. Where is that falling grand piano that I can just stand under? You know, Lavoie wins. She is so experienced when it comes to reading and comedy. She just has it, so she knows what she was up to. We kind of get over that fact and we're told then, oh my god, it is Snatch Game. So, baby, we're having to pull out our Snatch Game characters. If you're playing Snatch Game, you have to be very intelligent. And I actually think your choice really, really, really matters. And I will say this, folks. Snatch Game, it is fucking difficult. RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 6 is difficult. So to get to where I got to, past the halfway marker, to also be eliminated on Snatch Game, pretty iconic. I picked Coco Peru because I enjoy her humour. I think her humour is very similar to mine. So I kind of saw it as a way that I would be able to like very easily transform into this character without terribly too much struggle.
Oh, I'm baking a little panettone down here. I'm having a fabulous time. Hello, my Coco Pops.
Reality is, Miss Coco, she's like me, we love to talk. So when it comes to kind of giving these quick little one-word answers, it isn't really going to translate, and it didn't really translate. So my hopes for this to kind of work didn't really work. The annoying thing to me was when Alan was like, I don't know who your references were.
I didn't know who Miss Coco Peru was. Back off, everyone.
In my opinion, I was sat there going, why are you talking about something you don't know nothing about?
Get her, Jay.
Now listen, we'll also get into this. I met Coco Peru after filming at her show. This is me at Coco Peru's meet and greet in Glasgow because listen, baby, I had to wait till the very end till everyone was out of the venue. And I was sat there for a good 25 minutes because I was like, I want to meet this bitch. There was never going to be another opportunity for me to meet Coco Peru, and I knew that in this moment I had to speak to her. And with Coco, she said this fabulous thing on stage where she was like, you know, I feel forgotten about sometimes when it comes to Drag Race. I feel like a lot of these younger queens just don't know who I am. And I remember sitting there in the audience and I was like, I love and adore this person so much, and they are just such a kind and caring individual. So to get to have literally 5 minutes with her where I spoke to her about getting to play her on Snatch Game, and I remember her telling me, I went, I'm Chanel O'Connor, and I just want to say, I'm on the newest season of RuPaul's Drag Race UK6. I played you in Snatch Game. And for her face, she was like, no, you did? How did it go? How did it go? Oh my God, how did it go? And I turned to her and went, they sent me home. And I got sent home.
I can't believe my girlfriend here did me on Snatch Game and it got her sent home. It's called talent.
You know, you had Michelle and Rue were the only two individuals that loved and appreciated and understand Coco, compared to Alan Carr, who his humour, his kind of vibes is in the UK. Same with Amanda Holden. Amanda Holden doesn't know what's in front of her. She's... Listen, if Shooty Gatwa was to sit there and go, Chanel, this isn't giving me Doctor Who, I would, oh my, I would be so like, oh. Amanda Holden, this is giving bin bag. Oh, is that? But listen, folks, no matter what I did on that Snatch Game, I don't know what they're going to show. To meet Coco Peru and have that 5 minutes with her was truly worth everything. We laughed so much. She literally said such kind and positive and affirmational words that were just so inspiring. Listen, if you don't know who Coco Peru is, you need to go and do your homework, because she is iconic. Everybody on this season constantly is just so good. We're such a strong cast that it's really hard to just push through. Do you know that scene in the cabin in the woods where those tiny little Asian schoolgirls kind of go around the spirit and they go, the evil has been defeated. I kind of felt like that's what the girls did after I left.
They banished you.
They were like, you are banished, never to return. So folks, I'm going to jump on and just start mapping out my eyes. So let's have a look at this in 3, 2, 1. Honestly, I don't remember how I did this makeup. So I kind of feel like I did this thing where it was like up and out, and then it was harsh liner, and then it was like glitter on the inside. This sort of like feline up moment, no eyebrows, bit of dusting. We're just gonna go with it and kind of see what happens. So when you watch yourself on TV, you are reliving trauma. I think when you sign up for Drag Race, you don't expect it to be as intense as it actually is. So that is one thing I would warn. Heed this warning, young sailors and sailies. It's very treacherous. So the brief for this runway was Doctor Who. Now, this was also a brief where you had to do a Doctor Who runway that was new. I thought this is a perfect opportunity to be a little bit crazy, a little bit kooky, a little bit wild. I had so much fun putting this together. This was another moment where I told a white lie. I did not make this by myself because there is no fucking way I could have. I had the amazing help of Niall, my gorgeous flatmate editor and best friend.
Woohoo, that's me.
And I had the amazing talents of Evie. And there is so much detail that goes into this that I had spent time. It took me, honestly, about 5 days to put this thing together. And I wanted to choose darker tones of colour because I felt like my runway package so far had been really light, had been really airy, had been really like gorgeous colours and gorgeous textures, and I just wanted to find a moment where I could be okay, this is my Doctor Who runway, let's be ugly with this, let's choose fabrics that are more difficult to kind of make work. One of the big inspirations for this look was a Snowpiercer breach suit. So in my head I wanted this octopus suit to look like it was in freezing temperatures, in a strange new galaxy, fresh off the spaceship. Worker woman, she is part of the army, she is there, she's a hard-working, independent solo woman. So with this look, me and Evie worked on the base. We also tried to make this giant head sculpture thing. This was maybe 2 days before I was leaving. While Niall was making this headpiece, I'm trying to wrap fabric around it in a way to make it work. I put it on my head, I realised this is so heavy. So we didn't have time to make any new hair. So for me, I was like, okay, it's gonna have to be a helmet mask thing that sort of like jumps over, and like I'll put little ears, cat ear kind of things in it to make the head a bit more interesting than around here. This look was something that I love and adore, but there was compromise to it. We had went and got BMX rider armour that would go on your arms, and we'd sanded them down, textured them. Niles, weed.
I love weed. It was a
Niall!
thing with weed.
Niall had sat there and spray painted and sanded and scorched and scratched and textured up every single aspect of that armour to make it look like genuine battle armour metal. You know, and Ellie Diamond, my drag sister, my drag fiance, my love, had kindly donated this giant, what is it, like American football jacket thing. It's crazy the amount of man hours and work that went into this. For Amanda Holden to say I look like a bin bag, truly what was wild was I felt like a witch. I had so much power from the love and the dedication that had went into this outfit that no matter what any of those judges said, it did not matter. I knew I loved it, and I loved the people who worked on it, and I adored what happened and what that runway was. My writing's on the wall, my Snatch Game was rough. They don't get the outfit, but guess who will love the outfit? Genuine Doctor Who fans. But some of those runways up there, in my honest opinion, or should I say in my homosexual opinion, because I don't know if you know this show, there's a show called In My Homosexual Opinion, which I actually thought was in my honest opinion. It's called Doing a Bit, girls. Get into it. So there was some outfits up there that to me, not gonna name names, that are not Doctor Who. I was giving, season 1 of Doctor Who, camp buffoonery, Sarah Jane Adventures meets David Tennant in an orgy vibes. Some of the I saw, that was part of the Jodie Whittaker seasons.
Evil!
Anyway, folks, I'm going to focus on finishing these eyes, getting them even, getting them sketchy, getting them vibes. And what we're going to do is add a little bit of glitter. You can't even see that. Add a little bit of glitter to finish off these eyes. So in 3, 2, 1, let's get into this. Finally, there is a scene that has been filmed where I am shown being actually genuinely upset and emotional, and people are listening.
Whoa.
Aww.
Because I don't believe it. Oh, Chanel.
Oh my god, there is a tiny bit of me coming through.
All it took was an intense emotional breakdown.
All it took was an intense emotional breakdown. Actually, we'll get to that as well, because this is so funny. The whole day, I could not stop crying. I was inconsolable. But the one person who was going to listen, whether they like it or not, was going to be Karen. This was the first time I'd also decided to get ready in the mirror. I was told by Gothy beforehand, get ready on the tables. If you get ready in the mirrors, they annoy you, they keep asking you questions. If you go to the tables, you can at least sort of be there and be at peace. I'm someone who overthinks a lot. I'm someone who really struggles to make decisions by myself. I require a lot of support and love. It's such an emotional whirlwind. So when you're actually there and you're doing it, it's such a fever dream. Everything built up, and I just had to kind of let it out that just, I'm not this strong person. I'm not this stone cold bitch that can always just be so ready to take it at any moment. I was so grateful for Kyron to listen to me and to take some time to just be there for me. There was one moment where I'm going to tell you guys this. We've got maybe an hour till we're meant to be on the runway, and I remember sitting there, and they don't do this typically a lot of the time, but they just let music play. Someone put it on their Spotify and let music play, and a song had came on that I used to dance to with Niall in a club back in Edinburgh. And there's a video, here's the video here. It literally does not mean anything. There is no... But it just reminded me of Niall. And the way that I had just been missing everyone so much, I just burst into tears. Kind of like I'm about to now. And we're not going to do that because we don't have time. Because I cherish and I care about everyone so much. And I think that's one of the big things they don't talk about on Drag Race. You are just put in a room full of people that you just have to trust. And I remember that song playing and it reminded me. And I just burst into tears. And it was so funny. Because I was in like flood. It was ugly tears. And I had to get picked up by 2 members of Queen Team and taken out of the workroom where I wailed.
Dragged.
I was like dragged and cried. And I remember they opened the double doors into like the main corridor of the fucking set. And who was there to see me in tears? In this face, looking like this, Amanda Holden and Alan Carr. And they literally went, oh, so sorry. And the people who were handling them turned them around while I was escorted to another room where I could just bawl. And it was the right decision. I just allowed myself a little moment.
Taken away in a straitjacket.
Taken away in a straitjacket, rolled away. You know what? They kind of put me in one of those chairs and was like a dolly strapped in. Send me home, pack my bags, get the luggage. Like, it was insane.
Get in there, you! You need a nice long stay in solitary confinement!
In the last video, I had told you about a secret little thing that RuPaul had told me that I wasn't allowed to tell until this week, because I don't know if it's going to be included or not. When you have your walkthroughs with Ru, we're talking about Coco Peru, we're talking about all that, and there's a moment where things are resetting or we can't speak, so we're just standing there. And RuPaul says to me, who made that dress last week? And I went, oh, well, I made it. And my friends, you know, they did the stoning and they did the buttons. And Ru went, that is the most beautiful dress I have ever seen you in. And that was a moment where I was like, send me home! Send me home! Do what you want with me. Cook me, feed me to the lions. I don't care. RuPaul has just told me that I am beautiful. And that dress is beautiful. And what was made was beautiful. Exactly. That was wild. So I'm gonna finish these eyes and I'm gonna tell you about a little tidbit on the runway. So let's get into this. Okay, doke, folks, we've done our eyes, and the crack is to make this look even more alien. Like, you know, I'm just painting myself like this, but I've used this little tool, and what it is it's a printing die. All I did, place the outline, and very slightly I'm just building up textures, building up tones, and I blend that out, blend it down. What the stencil does is just add that little bit of weirdness to the makeup that helps transform you. Guys, I don't know if they include it or not, but if they include it, amazing, you understand. If they don't, let me tell you about it. I almost fainted on the runway. When I had been in the fittings for this outfit, I had tried it on. I'd only had it on for maximum about 5 minutes. I hadn't realised how tight I had made the neck. I struggled to breathe. And there's an unspoken rule that if you do need to, you can request a chair, you can take your shoes off, you can make yourself comfortable. I remember trying to do it in a natural pause in the conversation. I wasn't wanting to interrupt anyone, so knows what's going to happen, what it's going to look like. But baby, I had to get someone over to help me out. And they came over, sat me down in a chair. There are shots of me looking like a sad clown, legs spread, tentacles in our... Because I am like exhausted. I'm also emotionally exhausted. I've just been ripped apart by the judges. They don't really like my look. They don't like my performance. The only thing they say is they're like, we love your makeup. I'm like, I know, girl. I know. And I will give up to Amanda Holden for this point. They're doing all the rest of the people and I'm just staring ahead. And I just happen to catch eyes with Amanda Holden. And she does go... She may have not verbally said, are you okay? But her mouthing the words to, are you okay? I appreciate it. Let's talk about Untucked. Because listen, I was so over it. People were saying me things. People were trying to kind of hype me up. And like, this isn't the end. Like, you can... I was sitting there looking, I was like, it's going to be me versus Relisa. There was no way. There was no way. There was no way. So when it came to the lip sync, folks, I genuinely knew, I was like, babe, I'm just going to just perform, have a good time, spin around on the floor, rip off my arms, reveal tinier little arms, because there was nothing I could do. I gave it my all, folks, but alas, there's only so much one clown can do. And you know, folks, at the end of the day, I was happy to go. I wasn't going to sit there and like, how dare you eliminate me? I was like, thanks for eliminating me. I'm going to go home and I'm going to have a spa. Like, I was ready. But I will say this, I am not one for speeches, but I do have this to say. We're bringing it back to Happy Birthday. My exit line, everybody. It is something that, you know, when you go there, it actually comes to you. Most of the girls I spoke to, when it comes to exit lines, you actually get it when you're there. You can't practice. You can't write it down before. You can write your entrance line, you kind of have that, you got that, but your exit line is that moment for you to kind of wrap up what you're gonna say.
I'm not one for speeches, but...
And I found me going, let's piss him off and let's sing Happy Birthday. Was my perfect moment for me to be like, I came in here controversially, I'm gonna leave controversially, and I'm gonna leave on my own grounds by singing Happy Birthday and telling everyone to f*** off. Done.
Happy birthday! Ah, fuck yous.
This show has been truly phenomenal. To be on it is such a pleasure. To be a part of the sisterhood has been incredible. I have gained friends for life. So, without further ado, let's get into Doctor Who. Baby, that's it. That's a wrap, that's it done. That's the end of Chanel on Drag Race. Woo hoo hoo hoo. But listen, it's not the end of me on here, so you guys better tune in every single week for me to continue the shenanigans of season 6. Because I'm like a spirit. I'm dead, but you best believe I'm gonna haunt those girls for the rest of their lives. Point of the story is, let's boogie, let's party. Thank you so much for watching. Woo!